What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Blitz City Podcast, where today we are back with another episode 6, I believe, of FBS Fridays with my guy with the panel, my boy Blue Bloods, my guy Clay McCarter, and my guy Trey. Not really my guy, more of an acquaintance, but you know what?
What's going on, y'all?
What's going on?
What's good?
What's up, brothers?
All right, so I want to start this off with I don't know, like I love watching Joel's Klatt show because like I love some of the stuff that he comes up with, right? Like some of the takes that he has. So I want to talk about two of them in particular. The first one, I don't really know how to feel about it, but he said something about the Rose Bowl should be the venue for every national championship every year. He said it's a beautiful scenery, and I agree. Some of the best games in college football we witnessed took place in the Rose Bowl. It's just something about that atmosphere that is amazing. How do you guys feel about this? I wouldn't be mad at it, but I feel like a lot of people would want to see a national championship back in the Cardinal Stadium, back in the Dolphin Stadium. I know, maybe even SoFi Stadium or the Rams Stadium. Like, how do you guys feel about this?
Personally, not against it. I mean, I think the Rose Bowl is one of the most historic things for college football of all time. Mm-hmm. That with next to maybe the Orange Bowl. I do not. Part of me doesn't want it to see being played at the Rose Bowl on a year-to-year basis because I think that there's just so much room for. I wouldn't say exposure because it's a nationally televised event, but more so of I want to see it in some of these super big stadiums and let it travel every year and make it something like the NFL, man. Let these guys who are playing the national championship. Majority of the guys on the roster are going to end up playing the NFL. Let them play in an NFL stadium. Let it be something maybe a little bit neutral or make fans travel,
Okay, I'm going to be I don't know. I think I agree 100% with them. Like when I think of like college football and some of the greatest games of all time, like I think of the Rose Bowl. And like you ask any diehard college football fan, like national college football fan, and you say, what venue have you always dreamed of going to see a game at? They say the same stadium. It's the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. I mean, and even on TV, it comes off differently, just the environment, the atmosphere. And it always seems like, I don't know what it is about that stadium. They must rig the games there, but it's consistently a classic game every time it's played there, especially for the Natty. Listen, I hate it for the people who are in the South, and it's great to just be able to travel to Atlanta, travel to Miami, travel to Charlotte, wherever the game may be, and it's cheaper to travel. But if you're looking for having a classic location for the national championship game, I don't see how you can't have it at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Oh, go ahead, Trey, my bad.
Oh, no, I was just saying, I agree 100%, man. I mean, the Rose Bowl, in my opinion, has just always been a historic game. I mean, now, every year, have it be the national championship, maybe, but at least make sure every year the Rose Bowl has two hard-nosed, running down your throat football teams, so it won't be a blowout. It'll be a good game.
And I mean, maybe like if people's concern was travel, like I think he mentioned the playoff game should stay at that team stadium. Like I think like something about the team having like home field advantage, and then the championship be at a neutral site. Like not every playoff.
I think with the expansion of the CFP, if they don't go off of with the expansion of the college football playoff, if they don't choose to go off of making New Year's Six Bowl games the playoff rounds, which kind of does make sense, but at the same time as it doesn't, because you have these guys that are going to win 3 or 4, probably 2 or 3 different. If it's a 8 or a 12, they're going to have a couple of different bowl games, and it's like, okay, well, hold on. It's kind of a little bit of a red flag there, a little bit. But I think that New York Six Bowl, based off of the expansion of CFP, if you're saying like people are going to be playing a New York Six, like the Chick-fil-A Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, I don't believe the Peach Bowl is a New York Six Bowl, correct?
No, it is.
It is? Okay, like the Peach Bowl, Rose Bowl, and the Orange Bowl. New Year's 6-day games are going to be in the college football expansion. But I do believe that with the expansion of that, I believe that courtesy needs to be given where it is due, to where some of these teams or each bracket of the playoffs, the way that they're going to expand, deserve to have a home field advantage. If you're going to give the number one team a bye, if they come out the next game, they deserve to play at home. If it's the number one team in the nation and they get a first-round bye, they should get the home field advantage, or they should have to travel on the road and you give the lesser team the home field advantage. I think that some of these in the expansion, some of these teams should be able to play some home games, just because the majority of the teams that are going to be making the college football playoffs are going to be the same thing that whenever Coach Reed was on here. Winners are going to win. Mm-hmm. It's going to be the CEOs of college football, like Coach Reed was saying. I'm going to quote him because he made a lot of sense, and it's something that I was thinking about in the last couple episodes. Your Ohio States, your Michigans, your Alabamas, your Georgias, and your other historic programs are going to be in the playoffs. Teams that finish top 12, top 8 every single year, even if it's a down year, are going to be in the playoffs. Involve the home crowd. It brings nothing but revenue to the university. It gives you more exposure for recruiting, and it develops big time historic games for your franchise. Personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So, I've been vocal. I pitched a 12-team playoff like 2 years ago on the show. Like
it always should have been that way.
I was so vocal about it. And my thing is, I think the first 2 rounds should be at the home field. So whatever the higher seed is in the first round, they should host. And in the second round, you have to give the seeds some sort of advantage. You give them a bye week, and you should give them a home game for that second round. Then the last 2 rounds you should have at the New Year's 6 or whatever. And then, you can do it like that. I just don't see why you wouldn't. Who would not want to see Ohio State, Bama, and Bryant-Denny, or the Shoe, or Michigan, Oregon in the Big House, or Tennessee versus whoever in Neyland Stadium, or Sanford in Georgia, in Athens, Georgia, hosting a game, or the Swamp, or Death Valley at either Death Valley. Man, you got some of the most legendary stadiums across the country. Why wouldn't you want to have big games there and have the atmosphere be what it is? Reward teams for winning in the regular season is my thing. So give them a home game.
A playoff game at Death Valley and LSU is I would not even that. I would not.
I don't want my boys in orange and blue to show up. I guarantee you that one. But at the same time, I don't think if you give me a really competitive Florida team, so not a lot of people want to play in the Swamp because that's going to be a sold out game. But a lot of any SEC school, it's a playoff game. It's going to be sold out, but don't let the university get 30,000 students in there.
All right, so next topic, right? Last week we talked about players choosing not to play in bowl games, like getting out of that and preparing for the NFL draft. Now there's been a conversation on, well, what should incentivize players to play in these bowl games and not skip them? Now, of course, when you go into any comment section, the fans feel like they own these players, so they want to go the punishment route. Like, okay, well, don't let them apply, like, don't let them be eligible for the draft, and, like, just crazy stuff. But I'm thinking, like, why don't you revenue share a little bit? Share a little bit of money with the players. So, like, I don't know personally what you could do. I don't know if there's much you can do to keep these players from skipping bowl games, but you should maybe try it. Maybe try, revenue sharing, something. That's just me. But what do you think can be done to keep these players from skipping bowl games?
I'll be the bad guy first. I'll throw it out here because people hate me for this, because I've talked about it a little bit when NIL was becoming a thing on my show. I think the only 2 ways you can do it is, say, if you're on athletic scholarship, you got to play in all the games if you're healthy. Say, if you think you're getting our money to go to classes, for housing, for all this stuff, you got to play. Like, you're getting paid like an employee. You got a scholarship. Or now in the age of NIL, say, if you want that NIL money, you better play. Mm. And if not, we're pulling it and you're going to owe us back some money. That's how you do it. It's simple. Put it in the terms and conditions. If you want to get paid like a professional, be a professional and go play.
I think that's there's stipulations to that, though. It's different for, you have to play in the upperclassmen, the seniors that are playing, and I agree with the whole making it part of the scholarship, the fine print. If you're signing up to play at this university and we're playing at a bowl game and you choose to sit out, you're foregoing your eligibility going into senior year. You're foregoing the year. That should be it's something along the lines of that. I believe a revenue share should possibly be involved, but the CFB is doing a good thing with helping to combat that a little bit. With they're flirting with the possibility of giving these red shirts the ability to play in bowl games and not affect eligibility. That's a rule that's kind of being flirted with. I don't know if anybody saw that. I think that was a Wednesday or a Tuesday topic that came out a little bit, saying that guys who have been redshirting all year that haven't made, the minimum amount of appearances in a game to forego a red shirt are allowed to be eligible for a bowl game, and you won't lose eligibility. So I think, Blue, correct me if I'm wrong. At the moment right now, you have 4 appearances, correct?
Yeah.
Non-starting.
Yeah. So now it's 4 appearances. No, it's just 4 appearances in general. Like you can't, like if you
play a down, that's considered a game.
Like, yeah, if you go in and take a knee 5 times, if you go in and take the knee 5 times, you can't redshirt.
Okay. So then, I think that's going to be a big rule that's going to combat in too, is by saying, hey, look, if you've already made your 4 appearances and you're on the verge, but hey, guess what? Cornerback 1 said he's he's going to the draft, and you're cornerback 4, well, you just moved up to slot, or you just moved up to the next role, depending on what your play style is. I think that's going to be something that's definitely beneficial. And when you're going to see a lot of these teams that aren't going to be sweating it so much. But at the same time, I think that incentivizing these players, yes, because what if they do go out there and they get hurt? And you're talking about a day 2 guy that slips to round 4 now. He just cost himself hundreds of thousands of dollars, possibly even maybe $1 million or $2 million. It just all depends on where he's going to fall out.
That's true.
Very good points. Very, very good points. I'm speechless on that one. Yeah.
You got no opinion on that one?
Bro, very good points on both sides. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, there's parts of me that feels it's selfish. There's also parts of me that feel, hey, go get that bag, bro. And there's also parts of me to where, you sign a scholarship. You're basically getting paid. Do your job. I don't know. It's just college football has changed so much from when I first entered college football in 2015. It's crazy. Because when I entered, people were scared to transfer. You have to sit out a year before you can play. Now the transfer portal is just huge. Like I just watched that Netflix documentary, Last Chance U. A lot of guys didn't get picked up because the transfer portal was just so huge and gave people extra years where JUCO players don't get picked.
Very true.
I don't know, man. Just, when it comes to college football and the rules and NIL and transfer portal, it's just
it like for me, I know the danger isn't there, right? I mean, in terms of like normal students, but how do you think it would fly if all of us were at a university? We're all getting paid to be RAs or something on campus, and that's how we're getting paid our tuition. Like we get a scholarship for doing a certain thing at school. We all were like, hey, we don't want to do this right now just so we can get the bag in a few months. We're just going to dip out, but we still expect you to pay us.
Right.
And let me complete my degree, even though I didn't complete the terms and conditions that I agreed to.
Something that I talked to Kobe about earlier was, and it's what's on the screen right now. And I wish I could, Dragon 1998, I wish I could keep that right there. One thing that I talked to Kobe about earlier in the week was trying to make sure that we're involving more of the fans, people that are taking your sweet time. Everybody has, life. We're not millionaires. We're not TV personnel. We're your normal guys who love college football. Blue's a little bit more main time than us. Kobe's a little bit more big time than us. But listen, answering that question of what you said, I'm going to put it back up because it came off the screen. Coaches who take another job can jump shit and pay zero back. Scholarships are year to year. Now, that's a little bit different. And the reason why I'm saying it's a little bit different is because you're talking about a contracted employee different to scholarships. Scholarships are year to year. You can get offered, you can be a top 300 recruit, and they invest a little bit into you for a year, and they say, guess what? Hey, man, we just want to let you know that your scholarship's not available this year. We think it's best for you to transfer. A lot of these transfers that you see are some of these coaches coming in. It could be a new coach. It could be just a change of culture they're looking for by saying, hey, listen, we appreciate you for the 2 years you've given us, but we're trying to go in a different route. We think it's best for your situation to go in the transfer portal. It happens all the time. It's the reality of college football. Scholarship is not a guaranteed 4-year paid full degree.
That's facts.
There's nothing in life that's free. You have to pay your dues. You have to produce. They're investing into you. It's all said and done. It's $100,000 education, maybe a little bit less. And on top of all the things that they're doing, traveling for football, they're supporting you with gear, all these things. And I'm never big company rep. Like I'm all about the players. I think anything that should be for the players, I'm all for. I'll be the biggest testament about that until I'm 6 feet under. I'm never about letting the big guys get over on the little guys. I'm always about the little guys. I think that the biggest thing about that entire thing is a coach is signing a contract that is a year. It's based on a tenure, and it's based on there's incentives that go into it for the amount of wins, bowl appearances, things like that. And you're signing a contract that is multi-millions and millions of dollars. The difference between that, when you say scholarship is year to year, and the coaching thing is, well, they can jump ship. There's no repercussions. There are repercussions. Schools have to pay buyouts. Jimbo Fisher's buyout right now. If they were to say we are moving on from Jimbo Fisher, that school has to pay him $85 to $90 million.
It's $91 million right now.
$91 million. That is fully guaranteed. He gets his taxes deducted, and he gets to go set sail, retire the rest of his life with about $65-70 million, depending on what state he's going to go ahead and finalize all his taxes in. So that's the thing, is where it's a little bit different. So and
the school has to pay it if they hire him. So like, exactly. If Jimbo left for like Oregon would have to pay like the $90 million to take him.
Oh God!
It's when people say that it's player to coach, they can jump ship. There's no repercussions. There are repercussions. Now an entire fan base who has all this love with him is gone. I mean, there's repercussions. It might not be monetary, but there's repercussions.
Well, and like you also got to think too, the school has to honor this. Like you could say scholarships are year to year, but if I'm not mistaken, it's still the fact, like, because we're not talking about players opting out of bowl games who are transferring. We're talking about, because people keep bringing up the transfer thing. We're talking about guys who are going to the draft or graduate and opt out of bowl games. At the end of the day, the school still has to honor them coming back to finish their degree. Regardless of what happens, they have the ability to come back, finish their degree at that university for free. And you're just like, nah, man, I can't ride for this school. I don't owe them anything. But then they expect them to owe them something in a few years if the NFL don't work out, so they can come finish their education.
Right.
Animal. It's going to be scheme fits and stuff like that. But with the incentivizing of going back to the topic, what could incentivize players from opting out of bowl games? It's going to be the same thing of whenever we move to the college football playoffs. It's going to be trial and error, and it's going to be revised.
Yep.
All right. So moving on to the next topic. Grayson McCall, one of the premier quarterbacks in college football, has decided to not even enter the draft, but go the transfer portal route. And
come on with it.
It's a little shocking. I'm not gonna lie. I expected this man to enter the draft, but he had a great career at Coastal Carolina, and now he's ready to take his talent to a new school. Now, the first thing I wanted to talk about was, what are your thoughts on that? Like, what's the reason you think he decided to transfer from Coastal Carolina? Me personally, I do believe something went into it regarding his draft stock. Like, okay, you were doing all this, but you're at Coastal Carolina. The talent level that you're doing this against, we don't know. We need to see you do this at a bigger school. I think that may be the biggest reason why he left Coastal Carolina, but your opinions may differ. So what do you think about this move first? And what do you think the main reason was?
Short and sweet, because I know Blue's going to go into this, because Blue in the first couple episodes was so big on Grayson McCall. He always still is big on Grayson McCall. I'm going to leave it short and sweet of what I personally think. Draft stock, which goes into competition, of the competition that he's playing against on a week-to-week basis and what he can lead a team to do, because NFL scouts, yes, they care about what you do in your college career. If you go and throw for 15,000 yards at Boise State, or you go throw for 15,000 yards in a 3-year career at LSU or Alabama or Georgia, and you're playing week in and week out competition, the scouts are going to note that guy over the other guy. It's just how the cookie crumbles. You played the guys you're going to be playing on Sundays. You played against the guys who might have a couple people that are playing on Sundays that might end up being cut after a year, 2 years, 3 years. If they shine, they make the NFL, they have a great career. More power to them. Congratulations. All about the big success stories. But to end it on it, come on with it. You can come down and play in the orange and blue in the swamp, baby, anytime you want. I'm all good with it, but at the same time, we got some young guns coming in, so I'm gonna leave my Gator bias out.
I know where he is right now, and it's in the orange and blue. It just ain't in Gainesville. Grayson McCall's on campus at Auburn right now on an official visit this weekend.
That'd be huge.
I heard the rumors.
It's not a rumor. It's confirmed. Like I know this for a fact. Like he's on campus already, and him and Devin Leary from NC State are both visiting on the same weekend this weekend for Auburn. So
they're quarterback away. So I love it.
I love it. And I would take Grayson McCall right now, and I think he would be the best quarterback in the SEC. Oh yeah.
Over Leary?
Oh yeah, 1,000%. Really? Y'all can have Leary.
I would love to see him.
Y'all can have him. Bro, Grayson McCall's that guy. Like I'm telling you,
but you don't think that just going off of if you do the blind test, you don't think that it doesn't favor Leary maybe a little bit?
No, not at all.
Okay, I respect that. I'm not going back and forth with you because
I think, and I also think Grayson fits the Hugh Freeze offense a whole lot better than Leary does, just because he has that little bit of added athleticism, and the touchdown to interception ratio is not a mistake. I don't care where you play. I mean, you can't fake almost 100 passing touchdowns and like less than 10 interceptions. That is
good arms that can make good reads and are accurate with the ball are going to succeed. It doesn't matter if you're playing at Savannah State. It don't matter if you're playing at Ohio State. If you make the reads and you can make the completions, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I think we all know the reason he transferred. And we just spoke on it. It's competition and perception. Like he wants to go prove he can do it at the highest level, and I think he can, because the problem that the NFL consistently falls in is that they never learn from their past mistakes. They continue to give these average quarterbacks at P5 programs a benefit of a doubt and saying they got potential. The Anthony Richardsons, the Will Levises, the guys who, if you took the name off the jersey off, nobody would be drafting Anthony fucking Richardson in the first round. No. Come on, bro. Are you serious?
Personally, he should be coming back for another year and fit in the offense and mold, because his first true start was a year ago against Georgia.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's midway through the season. You're talking about October football, and he has a year of starts in a whole new offense, and he wants to declare for the draft. Personally, I'm a little bit bitter about that, but I like to use that. It's so raw.
There's scouts that really think, I want y'all to like really let this sink in, is that there's scouts that think Will Levis is a better NFL prospect than Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. I want y'all to let that really sink in.
The Kentucky kid?
Yes.
Listen, these scouts that have been talking up Will Levis, those scouts are the same people that still go to McDonald's with coupons. They're all old. They don't know football. They don't watch football. They listen to the young guys that are traveling. They go ahead and beat their chest on that. I've said it from day one, from just the way that you watch this man, the way he carries himself. Will Levis is not going to be playing on Sundays very long. He's not. Much respect for him. I think he's a phenomenal athlete. I went to the Florida-Kentucky game this year. He had a couple of really good drives. Dude, he is a pocket presence dummy. He fumbles worse than who's the running back that I'm thinking of that fumbled like every time he touched the ball and he got cut like the fourth week in the NFL.
Oh no.
It'll come to me, but dude, he fumbles more than running backs.
He's terrible.
Yeah, he's trash.
He also puts mayonnaise in coffee, which is like a red flag. He should go to prison.
Oh my god!
No, he said that. Like he
puts Duke mayonnaise in his coffee as a substitute for creamer with no sugar. He also eats bananas with the peel on them.
Yeah, he doesn't peel his bananas, bro. He just bites into them.
He's got issues.
He doesn't. Okay, not okay. All right, this man just doing this for attention now. There's no way. There's no way.
He did it on like an interview.
On the Grayson McCall transfer portal, you saying it's more so stock or more so pride?
Okay, but Trey, how do you feel about Grayson entering the transfer portal?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I have not been paying a lot of attention to Coastal Carolina football program lately, but I've normally always been dogs. But I've always heard Grayson. The last show we were on all together, I heard a lot about Grayson. And I decided to actually do a little bit of research. I like Grayson, but I have a few friends who go to Coastal and a few friends who play on the team. And besides draft stock, I heard there may be a few other things that's kept under the rug on why he's leaving also.
Ooh, insider trading. Let's go.
Okay.
That's just rumors from what I'm hearing.
Hey, but sometimes rumors come to fruit, baby.
That is true. But the only reason I believe these rumors is because even though the rumor is the narrative is three different narratives, they still make sense at the end.
All right,
so who knows?
Blue, comment in there. I think you probably want to respond to. I know you're a big Auburn guy. Sir Retro says that's just a visit, Blue. I know where he's coming. And then the following comment up was, "Ole Miss is gonna knock y'all up next year."
That's just my guy. That's just my guy, sir. He knows better than that.
That's awesome. You think he would play for Lane over Hugh?
No, I mean, I don't think so.
All right, so, but for those of y'all watching, my guy Trey actually walked on at South Carolina State. He played for the Bulldogs, last year's Celebration Bowl champions. Just so y'all know that. All right, now
let's talk about squad. Huh? We got some Bluffton boys in that squad.
Oh yeah, a couple. Another one coming next year too. They just signed him. All right, now I want to talk about Deion Sanders a little bit because everybody can't stop. He went out publicly and said that he really believes that Travis Hunter. He believes that it's a lock that Travis Hunter is going to follow him to Colorado. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people are saying, "Hold up, maybe not." And he thinks he's going to take Kevin Coleman, the number 1 slot receiver, in this year's freshman class with him as well. What chances do you give him on getting both of those guys? I personally think he'll get Travis, even though I've been hearing that his mother wasn't really too happy with Prime for leaving. But I think, he'll end up convincing Travis, and Travis will follow him to Colorado. Kevin Coleman, though, I'm not sure on him. Like he never looked too happy at Jackson State, like with me, like when I looked at him. But what chances do you give the Coach Prime on getting Travis Hunter and Kevin Coleman to Colorado?
I say honestly, part of my gut, and ever since the whole smoke came with Prime possibly leaving, we talked in the pod a little bit, and then when he did leave, and we talked about with my guy Silk of the taste that it left in some people's mouth, it could have been much more professional. That's the whole last episode. Go tune into the last episode if you guys didn't watch. Something in my gut from this entire smoke happening, after seeing the year that they have played out, I think in my stomach, I have this weird feeling if Travis Hunter does not follow, he's going to Florida State. They were competitive this year. They're finishing the season ranked. He can go and he starts absolutely immediately. He was the former number 1 player in the country. I think that there's some smoke there for Travis Hunter to possibly, if he doesn't follow Prime to Colorado, I think he goes to Florida State. I personally do think that. Now, Kevin Coleman, can't speak on him very much. Didn't follow him a whole lot in his recruiting process, and who his crystal balls were and who his top 3, top 5 was. I just didn't follow the kid. Not knocking him. I'm pretty much laser focused on SEC and guys that are potentially coming to the school that I cheer for. I do believe that Travis Hunter, you want to keep playing both sides of the ball. I think if he's going to go to Colorado and commit to one side of the ball, which he's too talented not to, he has to keep that draft stock open. But who else are you going to get coached by instead of Prime? You're going to go and get coached by either Nick Saban, Corey Raymond. He's somewhat washed, but Torian Gray or Buddy over in Washington. I don't remember what's Washington's DB's coach.
I'm not sure.
Guys in the league left and right.
Well, no, it ain't the same one anymore. Lake got fired. You remember?
Who?
It was Lake. He became the head coach and then ended up getting fired. He was the DB coach that put all those DBs at Washington in the draft.
What's Lake's first name?
Hell, I don't remember. He got fired like a year ago.
Okay, I respect that. But I mean, it's if you're gonna dial in and you're not gonna be playing at one of the big historic programs and do that, if you're gonna follow, just dig down and play and know that you're just trying to develop your craft, man. If you're playing DB, who's better to coach you?
I mean, that's true.
Better to coach you.
I think if you're putting a percentage on them leaving Jackson State, it's 110. I think Travis is like 99.9% sure going to follow Prime, but Kevin, I agree with you. See, I don't know. I just don't know if he's going to follow Prime out there. I think with him, he doesn't have that same type of connection with Prime, and he could probably end up elsewhere. But I think Travis is going to stick with him. I mean, he was very, very vocal, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Prime say today it was just like pretty much waiting on just the confirmation from Travis?
Yeah,
in his
yeah.
press
He
conference.
went out publicly and said it about Travis, but he said nothing about Kevin. That's why
Yeah,
I'm
Kevin's iffy, and I did talk to a few other defensive players for Jackson. There's a lot of players transferring that ain't going to Colorado because there's a lot of people who are pissed with how Prime handled it behind the scenes.
Yeah, and I figured that would be the case, right? Because when people was like, "Oh, well, look, they're showing footage of the players like congratulating Prime," I'm like, "Yeah, but they choose which footage they want to put out there. Of course, they're gonna put the footage where they're happy for Prime, but like,
I won't say anything, and I won't say the moment because I was asked, because I don't want to give the person who told me away, but there was a big moment that Prime had on camera about him, quote unquote, helping Jackson State. That was called staged. That was called, a bunch of other stuff. And I heard it was about 5 or 6 different shots.
Oof.
And see, I think you know what I'm talking about. But
I know.
Yeah. And so there's a lot. And let me just say this to see the players who are not going to be back at Jackson and not going to Colorado, just kind of really, really pay attention on who's not playing tomorrow. Because I heard there's some names that have not been announced that aren't going to play tomorrow.
Okay. Blue, you got a comment. Boy, he said, "Don't mind me. This is my first time being a troll. I'm so excited."
Yeah, no, bro. Yeah, he's on my channel all the time. He's probably out here just trying to wild out.
Hey, Kobe, what do you think? What do you think about? How about? I mean, obviously, next week is the holidays. We may be not recording because Christmas is going to be falling in on around that time. We might be busy. Everybody's traveling. I know I'm going to be in Oregon. What do you think? Maybe we do next episode that we record. We do maybe first out of the first 10 people that maybe like, subscribe, and maybe tag us in an Instagram post or something. We bring on a guest speaker that's a fan.
For sure, yeah. We can always put the link in and have somebody come in real quick. Yeah,
let's do that.
Yeah,
so y'all all heard it live on the comments. We're probably going to do at the end of the thing, maybe get with Kobe and organize something, but maybe first 10 people that like, subscribe, post a screenshot of the podcast on Instagram, tag all 4 of us. We'll get a guest speaker on. I might sit one out, maybe let somebody else get on. We'll figure something out, but let's go ahead and let's roll it to the next one, Kobe.
For sure. Oh wait, Trey, what odds do you give?
Yeah. I feel that Travis is 100% leaving with Dion. Because from a personal experience of mine, before South Carolina State, I committed to play Division II ball at Lenore-Ryan University with Coach Ian Shields. After my freshman year, Coach Ian Shields got fired, and he went to Jacksonville, University of Jacksonville. They're the Dolphins. I don't know. There's like 3 schools in Jacksonville. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was willing to transfer to go there with him. But the program doesn't offer football scholarships. So that was the only reason I didn't go. So I say that by saying, if it's the right coach, you will follow him. Like Coach Shields won me over on my first official visit. Never talked about my mother, never talked about my sister. And when we walked in, he said, "Oh, this must be your sister Corey. This must be your mother Christy." And I'm just like, how did you know that? And I'm just, if it's the right coach, you will follow him. And Travis and Dion, they're like this. Now, Coleman, he didn't really seem happy. I have an old teammate from high school that coaches there, and I'll see his snaps every once in a while. The guy just sometimes look mopey on the phone, or after a win, he'll just Derrick Rose it, have the same facial expression all the time. Maybe that's just his personality. Who knows? But Travis Hunter, 100%. Coleman, I'll give it a strong 51%.
No, it's interesting that you mentioned that because you said you committed to Lenore-Ryan. I remember that. I was committed to Limestone. After the coach got fired the first year, I was gone. Like they brought in Mike Furry, who coached in the NFL for a little bit, came back to Limestone. I just wasn't rocking with him. Like I left. Like you're right. Like this, the right kind of coach will make you like it will affect your decision. So I definitely agree with you there. Moving on to the next topic though. What had the bigger impact on college football? Was it the NIL or the transfer portal, in y'all opinion?
Portal.
NIL, the transfer portal. Ooh, I'm going NIL. yo, these boys have been doing this shit for decades. It's just now legal. Listen, when I started listening to this podcast stuff, and I started off with listening to my guy Silk on the Big Three roll up, we had people who had conversations that were tapped with recruiting and how it was all going. I'm trying to remember his name at the moment, but give me a second. 4-star receiver. I'm trying to remember his name. Give me a second. When it came down to it, he had committed. He hosted a thing at a restaurant in South Florida. He sat down and he put hats on the table, right? He pulls, I believe, a LSU hat. LSU hat. I had a friend of mine who was there to do a segment for his podcast because he lived in South Florida and he talked about the podcast. This is 2 or 3 years ago. He said, this man committed to LSU. The party went on for about 45 minutes. You saw him walk out the back door. There was a black urban in the parking lot. A couple Alabama staff. He flipped the next morning. What does that tell you?
Oh, okay.
Bro,
they threw that bag at him.
They've been backdooring money to these guys all the time. And I'll say somebody we went to high school with, Damon Miller. Remember Damon?
Uh-huh.
D-Mill? D-Mill has told me about some of these guys with French and plus University of Florida recruiting the whole 9 yards and 24/7 sports guys. Some of these dudes, some of these things are how these staffers go. Bro, when they open up them checkbooks, boy, it don't matter where it is. You could say you committed to a school, they'll pull up at your mom's house, be like, listen, I got X amount of reasons why you need to commit to this school. Money's good, cash is on the table. There's no tracking this. It's cash money. It's been happening, bro. It's been happening. Now, before the NIL, I hate to say this. I don't know if it's going to offend anybody in the chat. The reason why everything happened with the way that it is with Kirby, the first couple years before NIL, Georgia boosters said, we'll open up the checkbook because we believe in this coach. They didn't believe in Mark Richt like that. They tried it. It worked for a little bit. They couldn't succeed, so they kept their money back in their pockets. You can tell me I'm lying or I'm flying, whatever you want to say. It's a proven fact these boys have been getting paid. You're not telling me these kids that come from South Florida and all these other schools that their parents are saying stay home because they got to still take care of their parents are going and playing at a school 1,000 miles away, 700 miles away if it don't have to do it. Benjamin Franklin. NIL. It made it legal. All the teams are starting to do it. All you got to do is let these people create their collectives of how they can get people who are former alumni to pitch in money so they can get the checkbooks bigger than the boosters. And that's what it is. Whoever has the biggest checkbook buys the best players. A&M tried it. They just got done failing.
You know, I'm torn between it, right? Because with Shamar Stewart, like the 5-star defensive end from this year's class, it was rumored that Texas A&M really threw that bag at him last minute to get him to commit to Texas A&M. And I was like, man, this NIL money must be really different, especially in the state of Texas. But at the same time,
oil money is different.
It's different.
Oil money is different. At
the same time, with the transfer portal, because there are so many players in the portal, like thousands, 1,000 to 2,000 in the portal this year, you are starting to see a trickle-down effect to the FCS to where 4-star recruits, legitimate 4-star recruits, are going to FCS schools. I just saw Western Carolina get 4-star wide receiver Santana Fleming. What is he doing at Western Carolina? Like,
to be fair, it was because of the coach. It was the coach. Like, if you go look at their head coach, he's got Florida. Like, he was the coach that led Valdosta to, like, their prominence. And even used to coach back in like the Florida high school circuit. Like, bro, the guy, the Bell, the head coach for Western Carolina, has ties in Florida. And Kerwin Bell runs a wide open offense. If you're a wide receiver, that's the offense you want to go play for. So I'm not super surprised. The reason I say transfer portal is because, like you said, NIL's always been happening. So I don't think it's had a huge impact on everything. All it's done is bring all the shady stuff up to the front. But now with the transfer portal, what's happening is now you can use NIL to get kids in the portal, and I think all the movement, man, that's changed college football for everything. Because NIL has impacted some things, but it wouldn't. I don't think NIL would have as big of an impact if the transfer portal wasn't as wide open as it is.
Bingo, because you created free agency, you can't have free agency without money.
Okay, all right, Trey, you said NIL. You said NIL or transfer portal.
Nah, I said transfer portal, man. I said transfer portal because it just, excuse my French, it just pisses me off every day how easy is a transfer now. I mean, for me, I had to sit out a whole year and I got lazy, couldn't even work out with the team, couldn't go to practice just because of the transfer rules when I went through. It just seems so easy to transfer now. And then I also look out for these JUCO guys. I don't know, something about JUCO football just has a soft spot in my heart. I feel for those guys. I know they want to get out, but it's hard for them to get a chance. And I blame a lot of that on watching Last Chance U. I mean, learning those guys' stories and seeing how hard they work just to see they can't get nothing, that really hurt me, to be honest. And it just made me wonder, like, dang, how would I feel knowing I did all this work just to not get picked up by nobody? Because the transfer portal is just humongous right now. I mean, NIL, just like you said earlier, NIL's been happening. I mean, well, I don't play Lenore around no more, but they paid us a book stipend. We didn't use that for books. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's not as big as the regular NIL deal, but we were still getting paid somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, players got played all the time at P5 schools. Like when I was at Auburn, man, players, there was a misconception with average fans saying, oh, well, why aren't we paying players? Bro, players were being paid. It just wasn't. They just couldn't be making it off their name, image, and likeness. Like Auburn players were getting thousands of dollars a month in like housing stipends, and it was just like getting a monthly check to go live on, and it was a housing stipend, and all their housing was paid for. Where do you think it was going to?
They base it the same way that they do at the military. Now the military is a little bit different. Obviously, I'm using it as an example for it's basing how the housing BAH, the housing allowance. If you are living somewhere else and you can pocket the money, I mean, there's ways to work around. I have some friends that are in the military. My stepdad was military. My grandfather was military. The whole 9 yards, whatever. But you can work it around it of how you want to let the funds be labeled and what they're allowed to be used for. I mean, think about this. This is something that I feel like should have been the dead giveaway. Go back to when Instagram first started. Bro, you mean to tell me that some of these players when they have these 2 minutes between games and they're talking about a star player who had a very rough upbringing, which many of us have endured, and they say, okay, we didn't have much or nothing like that. And then you see these people on Instagram and they're driving Chargers and Camaros and brand new F-150s.
I'm so glad you said that.
But that,
glad you said that.
Another thing that should have been a dead giveaway is this. You're telling me that the year Deshaun Watson shows up to the Heisman Trophy in a $8,500 pair of Louis Vuitton red bottoms, and on top of that, he has a $60,000 bust-down Rolex Presidential on his wrist while wearing an Armani suit. I know damn sure and well Dabo did not come out of his pockets to buy a $100,000 outfit for this man. On top of that's just not even the other jewelry with the earrings, the ring, the chains. Dude, come on. It can be rented or not. It's still expensive to rent diamonds. It's still expensive to have $8,500 shoes on your feet and a $5,000, $10,000 suit. The proof has always been the pudding.
Yep.
The question came about it, a good example too. Nolan Smith, who came from Savannah, Georgia. Now, his family is doctors, but this man goes to IMG, commits, and he has a brand new Raptor the day after Kirby flies the helicopter on the IMG field in Bradenton, Florida. Give me a fucking break, dog.
Yeah, 2017 Clemson Tigers. Half the team. Chargers, Camaros, everything. And I'm just like,
Bro,
interesting.
Quincy Wilson, who played at Florida, Quincy Wilson was driving a Panamera.
Damn.
Quincy Wilson's family has a little bit of money, don't get me wrong, but he was driving a Panamera and he posted on Instagram 2 or 3 times, and then somebody ended up commenting and said, take this down. Come on, bro.
Yeah, NIL has been happening, man. Now it's just legal. They can legally flash their money.
All right, so let's get into the bowl season, man. Let's get into the bowl season. What's the most intriguing bowl matchup in y'all's opinion?
Notre Dame versus United States of America.
We're going to talk about later, but
He said Notre Dame versus the United States of the most intriguing bowl matchup this year or of all time? Like, if they meet up
this year.
This year?
Bro, this dude wanted to get historic. This dude wanted to get historic. He was like, bro, in 1987, I'm telling you, the Orange Bowl.
the most intriguing bowl matchup that should have happened, they fumbled the bag on. We should have had Michigan, Ohio State on the run back. That's a fact. Michigan, Ohio State should have been
that would have been the most watched bowl game.
You wanted to run back
one more time, bro. You let them play in the regular season. You got to let them duke it out one more time in the playoffs. You have to.
Hard to beat the same team twice.
Play. That is going to be a game that will be talked about for ages. Because what if Ohio State redeems himself, or Michigan?
Okay, all right. Blue, what you say?
I might take yours, but I'm really, really excited to see Oregon and UNC. That game's going to be really good. I'm just going to say, like, I think it's the Holiday Bowl. That game might have 400 points scored. That is just going to be amazing to watch between Drake May, Bo Nix. I mean, the stars offensively for that game are going to be. I'm just excited to see it. But in terms of like big bowl games, I wish Hendon Hooker was healthy because Clemson, Tennessee would be insane, man. I can't read that.
This is me. I used this in the episode the other day when Kobe was talking about the end of the season matchup. I wrote down in quotation marks, Oregon by 28.
I will say an underrated game. I know some people probably don't think it's going to be close. Man, Alabama K-State is an intriguing game to me.
Yeah,
really?
Just because Bama has really struggled defensively, and you can say what you want about K-State, but they can put up some points. And I really do think K-State's defense, which has been top 10 all year long in the country, and they're in K-State. Like, listen, bro, I went there for grad school for a little while. Bowl games mean something. If you don't think that every single player is going to play and try to win that game just to say they beat Bama, you're crazy. And Bryce Young and all those players opted into the bowl game today. So you're going to have two full strength teams in the Sugar Bowl. Man, K-State Bama could be insane to watch this year.
Yeah.
Trey, after you go in, I want to throw out something else because actually I just thought about this first.
Gotcha. So there's two bowl games I'm looking forward to. For one, the K-State and Alabama, because K-State reminds me of that Baker Mayfield Oklahoma team that beat Alabama that year. You know, they weren't the best team. They weren't the team making a lot of noise, but they still bitched Bama that year. And it just reminds me like that. I don't know. I love watching other teams beat up on Alabama. Don't know
was
why.
That Baker Mayfield? That was Trevor. No, that was Trevor Knight. Trevor Knight was the quarterback in that one. That was like a year or two before Baker, wasn't it? I don't think Baker played in that game.
Oklahoma got swamped out by Clemson, didn't they?
No, Oklahoma beat Auburn one year. Oklahoma beat Auburn one year in the Sugar Bowl with Baker Mayfield. Then they went to the playoffs the second year and played Georgia.
That's the game I'm thinking about. You say, yeah, okay. I'm thinking about the Rose Bowl.
All right. I got QB mixed up.
No, yeah, I think it was Trevor Knight or something, because they had like a third string quarterback beat Bama that night. It was insane.
Okay, well, yeah, whoever Trevor Knight, yeah, that quarterback. Ooh, sorry about that. Yeah, that quarterback. I just like seeing other teams beat up Bama, and I think K-State has a good chance because they're gonna play their hearts out. And Bama just seems like, I'm not gonna say they don't care, but when they're not in the playoffs, they don't play really good. But I'm also looking forward to the. I saw people on Twitter call it the Shane Beamer Bowl.
That's where I was going, right? That's where I was going.
Yeah, people on Twitter call it the Shane Beamer Bowl. But is DJ playing? Because I saw he's in the transfer portal, so I'm guessing he's not playing.
No, dude.
No, DJ's not playing.
I actually like K Klopnik. That's his name.
Klubnik.
Yeah,
the backup quarterback. Yeah, I actually like him. I mean, he seems all right. Seems like he got a lot of potential. So we'll see what's to bring next year with him playing. And then Tennessee backup quarterback. He has a cannon for an arm. His accuracy can be a little better, but he has a cannon for an arm. So we'll see.
Is it still Joe Milton?
I have no idea
that's
what
the
his name
backup.
is.
Yeah,
That's backup.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's Joe Milton.
former Michigan
Number
quarterback.
7, if I'm not mistaken.
Joe
Yeah.
Milton, dog.
Yeah, he has a freak from Texas, right?
No, I believe
He
he's
played
Florida.
in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
I was talking.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure Joe Milton played in Florida.
Yeah. So the Shane Beamer Bowl, Alabama, K-State, and I'm looking forward to my Irish upsetting some folks. I got some good news about USC not having a full roster, so I feel a lot better.
I just got a good feeling about Oregon State beating Florida, man. I don't know about y'all. I'm feeling real good about that one.
Hey, hold on. Since we want to throw some little subliminals out there. Listen, bro, we have a 3-star transfer who hasn't played a down of football and God knows how when after Jalen Kitna gets bust watching. Jack Miller is going to go out there and hand the ball to ETN probably 35 times. Montrell Johnson get about 25 carries. He's going to throw 10 passes. They're all going to be in garbage time when we're just trying to maybe blow them out. If that's the case, we're probably going to lose the game. But I will say, if we go out there, even though we're losing Osiris Torrance, who's he's the first All-American at Florida in God knows how long. That kid is a stud. Hope that he makes it to the Buccaneers if you need him, but it won't happen. We might get dog walked. I'm gonna be honest with you boys. I love my orange and blue, but we'll go in there, and if the running game don't happen and defense already quit, I already heard defense is checked out for next year because all these guys are everybody's already transferring, bro. We lost. I think we may have had more transfer portal announcements than anybody, but I expected it because it's Mullins guys. Like we lost even a young stud that I thought was going to be nice with John Reynolds, and he even got playing time, and he said, "See ya." He was a 4-star receiver, but whatever. Kobe, before we get to the next topic, I did see a little bit of smoke regarding the Oregon Ducks.
Florida needs a 30 for 30 on that.
Oh yeah, a preacher, a murderer, and go else with everything else. I mean, Riley Cooper with the negative, racist comments. I mean, that is just something else. And
that was a wild team.
I will throw my hand up there and say, for the record, even though he was somewhat of a good athlete at Florida, I always hated Riley Cooper because it was Tebow's favorite target because they were roommates. But that's another topic. Kobe, I hear smoke that there is some flip status for your 5 quarterback at UCLA. I didn't want to burst the bubble, but I heard they said when Dorian leaves, the keys are his. So that's a watch.
Listen, I don't get involved in rumors.
Hey,
okay? I'm not gonna. I can't hear that news, man. I cannot hear that news, bro. Like I need that kid in Oregon, bro. I can't.
If you want to call crystal balls rumors, I heard that when Dorian leaves, man, there's the crystal ball flips, bro.
But didn't Oregon just lose their monster of a recruit and linebacker?
We still have Noah Sewell, though. All right, we still got Noah. We wish Justin the best. Thank you.
Okay.
Let's move on from that, Trey. Who y'all got? Who y'all got? Who's y'all star guy?
Okay.
Nobody knows.
Okay.
Hey, who's his team?
So comment in there.
Well, if y'all put more effort into recruiting, than y'all uniforms, you'll be okay.
Here you go with it.
So, all right. Navy Gal now trucking. Saying I would like to hear his thoughts on the QB at Florida. Are you talking about my name or the quarterback at Florida? I want to see. I would wait to see if I can get a comment real quick and answer that for me, sweetheart. I wanted to make sure I answered because you said that we were ignoring you on a question. I want to make sure. I'm trying to be better about getting people involved. Well, my name's Clay.
Comments real good. Yeah.
Well, Navy Gal. My name's Clay. I'm a friend of Kobe's. We went to middle school and high school together for a little short period. But we talked college football from day one, back when Oregon was playing a natty against Cam Newton. But we'll talk about that a different day. Back in English class, Kobe was high hopes, baby. My name's on there. If you actually let it roll through on it, which says you're watching FBS Fridays. It's the Blue Bloods with Clay McCarter. That's myself and Trey, who Kobe likes to refer as an acquaintance, but I want to say they're actually friends for the record. So the quarterback at Florida,
Hey, Kobe.
from originally, I believe, going back to Urban Meyer. I mean, he's really not that good. Coming off of a big elbow injury that had him sidelined for 10 weeks in the offseason and even in the regular season. We're probably going to get dog walk. Guy hasn't even gotten snaps because Jason Hitna was the backup. So
I got breaking news.
What happened?
After Devin Leary announced he was in Auburn today, Grayson McCall canceled his visit. Last second.
Damn.
My man, hey, Blue, I could hear your heart shatter from here.
Hey, look, I'm just upset. But wherever Grayson transfers, that's where I'm transferring.
Facts.
Okay, so now we back on Grayson. What possible landing spots do you see if it's not Auburn?
I don't know. It's going to depend on where he ends up visiting now.
Come on, baby.
And he's got to announce soon because this is the last weekend you can visit before early signing day.
Come on with it.
Oh my!
If he wants TV time all the time, come to Notre Dame.
But at the same time, man, I can't be having a stud come in and screw up my recruiting because I don't know if y'all saw we got the number one dual threat for 24 5-star DJ Lagway, and on top of that, we flipped the bag on Jaden Rashada from Miami, who got paid $9 million NIL deal, and then said, "See ya."
You do know that, like, literally Florida, Tennessee, everyone, y'all are just fighting for second place in the division, right? Like, none of you guys are beating Georgia.
It's fine. Let me get some love, baby. It don't matter. Hey, what place were y'all fighting for this year, Blue?
Hey, none, and we're good. Listen, we're fighting for second too. It's all good.
Blue. Hey, y'all weren't in second though. We were
second this year.
Still, we might have been fifth on a good day, but.
All right, so I want to talk about a game that it sounds very strange to say, but it's a big game this year, a big bowl game. The Cotton Bowl has USC and Tulane University. Tulane University is in the Cotton Bowl versus USC. Yo, what are your thoughts on this game? What do you have? From what I've been reading, they are giving Tulane actually a pretty good shot to upset Caleb Williams and the Trojans. They think it'll be about 62-point score, like a high-scoring affair. What do you guys think of this game?
Short and sweet. I'll let Blue go into this. I'll let Trey go into this. I'll let you go into this. Short and sweet. They're letting Caleb Williams ride into the sunset with a little win so they can go focus on who he's playing for on Sundays, down the road, whatever it is. It was a cupcake saying, hey, you won the Heisman, go have a big bowl game. He should have been playing better talent. They should have taken that into consideration. That's my 2 cents.
I will say, let me remind you, because there's 2 points I want to throw out here to you guys. Do you remember about a year ago, after the hurricane displaced Tulane, they had to go up to Norman and play Oklahoma in Norman, a Lincoln Riley team, and they took them to overtime and almost beat that Lincoln Riley team with the Heisman winner. Yep. And they got a win on the road at K-State this year too, who are the Big 12 champs. I think Tulane wins.
Oh,
okay. They got way more to play for. They got way more to play for. USC is going to have like 50 players opt out. Give me Tulane with the upset against USC.
Can we take a gentleman's bet?
Yeah, go ahead. What you want?
What spread do you want? How many points do you want on a bet?
What's the points? What's the point spread on the game?
I'm not even sure on that.
It's 2.5.
That's actually a good question.
2.5.
I'll give you Tulane +7.
Oh, I'll take that all day, bro. What you want to bet on it?
7.
There you go, man. I'll take you on
that.
Yeah,
All right.
This is 7, but I'll take a Heisman winner, bro.
Okay, all right, got a little bet. Hey, Trey, what you think, bro?
Well, a lot of people know how I feel about Caleb Williams. You know, in Caleb we trust. But I follow Tulane on TikTok. And I'm just be that guy. I like Tulane. I like Tulane.
Let's go.
They want to show the world. They want to show the world they're not those guys to beat up on. Because I used to beat up on Tulane on NCAA football.
We all did. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I thought Tulane.
So I want Tulane. Oh, and also I like Tulane's uniform better than Oregon's, by the way. But
you're lying. You're lying.
I do.
You're lying.
I like Tulane's uniform better than Oregon. I love the helmet combination. I love their helmet combination, their sock combination. Have you seen their girdle combination with their pants? Come on, that's amazing.
Okay, all right.
Tulane, I got Tulane over USC.
Tulane
and Caleb, we trust him.
That's an insult to Phil Knight. You got Tulane over there wearing Russell Athletic.
Like, come on, bro. Like, let's
bro, they're clean. Right no, they're clean. I think what makes their uniforms clean, their color scheme might be the cleanest in college football. Their color scheme's all just outrageous.
It's clean.
See, Oregon just throws in colors together, and people just like, oh, that's Oregon, so it's nice.
What is, bro? Okay, all right. The breast,
bro. Oregon really tried to make this. No, Oregon really tried to make pink, dark green, and light green work together.
It worked. No, it worked.
It did not.
It worked.
It worked. What? Everybody knew what breast cancer was before you guys did it.
Hey,
I mean, if we're being honest, man.
Kobe, throw Navy Gal Trucking's comment on there real quick. Tax Slayer Bowl. Someone update me on the Tax Slayer Bowl.
I got y'all. Hang on. I don't know.
I don't even know who's in there.
Hang on. I got you. 1 second. I'm scrolling through the 900,000 bowl games we got now.
Tax Slayer Bowl.
I'm worried about this Vegas Bowl and the college football playoffs, and then the Beamer Bowl and a couple other ones.
Okay, the Tax Slayer Bowl is Notre Dame at South Carolina or versus South Carolina.
Oh, we already talked about it. We didn't really talk about it, but I mean, Tax Slayer.
Oh. What happened, Blue? What happened?
Bro, Lindsey Scott just hit a bomb, and Cardinal Ware is about to retake the lead.
Oh my God! All right, go ahead.
Tax Slayer Bowl in Jacksonville. Trey, I hate to do this to you, brother. I really do, because I got a bunch of Notre Dame fans, the Comas, my best friend Nick Hanslick, big Notre Dame. But at the same time, man, I'm going with the hot team. I'm going but not by 40. But I'm going Carolina. I'm going Carolina in it's going to be a really close game. Final minutes of the fourth quarter, because Notre Dame defense is going to be showing up.
I just pray that the ghost of Ever Golson just takes over our quarterback and we win. That's it.
Give me South Carolina. They've been the hottest team. They've been the hottest team in the country for like 4 or 5 weeks now. South Carolina is going to run away with this one.
Run away. It ain't going to be close, Trey.
It was close. It was confusing. Okay. Florida beat them boys by 30, and then the next week they go out and beat a top 5 team, and then
y'all didn't want to see them again. They would have.
I want to play them boys. They're good. Yeah, we're on to next year. We're all good. I'll see them boys. It's all good.
It's Beamer Ball, baby. Hashtag Beamer Ball.
Beamer Ball.
You know what? I'm not even gonna say nothing. All I know is I'm gonna tag all 3 of you guys wearing my Ever Golson jersey and green and gold face paint. That's it.
Bro, I watched him in high school.
Can we talk about how real quick? I know it's an FBS show. Can we talk about how Lindsey Scott has 71 total touchdowns now in the year and is about to have 72?
He looks like Road to Glory.
That's stupid. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like when you get your player to like 99 overall with 99 speed and 99 accuracy, and you're just out there balling out.
And the coach all the best receivers to come play. And nobody.
You know what? They were talking about Shador being the only FCS quarterback in the Heisman. He should have been in the Heisman conversation. Like you know, he should have been sitting there in New York. You wouldn't have won it, but 71 touchdowns. My God.
How exactly does Shador Sanders like? How's his stats even look? I haven't watched Jackson State.
Not great. They're not.
He's got what, like
he's not even like statistically. Shador's not even in like the top 10 right now in the FCS.
Yeah, it's been a. And the thing is,
baby,
huh?
In the comments, Truck King, no Gators, baby.
You know. All right, so matter of fact, wasn't Shador's stats like
70? He got another touchdown. Lindsey Scott just now.
That's ridiculous,
dude. He just said Scott is all mad at 99. That's a fact.
All right, so we go. You know how we end the show. Overreaction, not an overreaction. Y'all know how we do it. All right, so I got 3. I got 3 for y'all tonight. All right, Drew Brees has been named as the new interim assistant coach at Purdue. Drew Brees would bring a top 10 recruiting class for Purdue immediately. No. Overreaction, not overreaction.
Overreaction.
Complete overreaction.
Needs the staff and he needs time. needs a staff and he needs time.
Yeah.
Do you think he'd ever be capable of that?
No, because he's not even the head coach. Like he just coaches he's just an assistant.
Right.
I believe he would bring in a top quarterback, maybe.
He's the best Purdue player of all time. Give him time. Legacy will ride. He won't get a top 10 class maybe in 1 or 2 seasons. However long he is there, if he is the head coach, I believe that when people see, and he's younger, he can relate a little bit to this younger generation. He might be able to sneak away and do something like that, because you have other teams that are similar in size, like your Cincinnati's and some of these other schools that are smaller. They're still Division I programs, but I think that over time, don't sleep on Drew Brees now. That's a walking offensive coordinator.
Like my thing is it is different. Like if he was the head coach, because he talks to every recruit and develops a relationship. Like he's just going to be recruiting for a single position. Like he's not going to help the DB coach get DBs. Mm-hmm. He's not going to help he'll land big time recruits for his position. But I don't think he's going to you know how hard it is to get a top 10 class in today's age of college football.
Oh,
yeah. With that. I'm not saying it's going to be a top 10 class off the rip. Maybe in a couple of years, it's a possibility if he does get a little bit of smoke. But think about it. He can recruit receivers. He can recruit tight ends if he wants to. All he's got to do is pick up the phone and call a couple of guys and be like, hey, man, I need you for this visit just to make a little appearance. You're just here as a coincidence real quick.
Yeah, I do believe he'll land a top 10 quarterback.
I can't imagine just him going into somebody's living room and being like, hey, man, come be a Boilermaker. Like,
he's the greatest ever at their university, though, Kobe.
Okay, you're right. Next one. Deion Sanders will have a better first year than Matt Rule at Nebraska.
Yes.
Possibly.
Yes.
I think they're both going to be really bad.
Easier competition in the beginning of the season. And on top of that, Nebraska is a dumpster fire right now, and they have been for a couple of years.
Don't they play? They play like week 1 or 2?
They do. They play. Nebraska will be playing Colorado. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They do.
Matter of fact, does Colorado not play TCU week 1?
Yeah, they do.
They do.
And in Fort Worth. Have to deal with USC or Oregon. I don't know, man.
I mean, Nebraska's got a bunch of other teams on the schedule too now.
I mean, I'm not looking.
I don't really know the schedule that well. That's why
you got to think, bro. Fast forward to right before our generation, bro. Nebraska was Alabama at one point. Nebraska. Think about it. At one point, they had the biggest stadium next to Michigan, Penn State, and some others. But Nebraska was a national championship winner multiple times, late '80s through the '90s. They were a very competitive team, finishing top 5 a lot. I mean, they were some dogs.
Even in our generation in high school, they actually were pretty good.
Oh, bro, Taylor Martinez, bro, I would. You give me the sticks on NCAA back in the day. Give me Taylor Martinez on Nebraska against anybody in the country. I'm going for 500 yards and at least 5 touchdowns. No given. That's on my mom.
All right, to be honest, EJ Manuel, Florida State, I'd run numbers on anybody.
Oh, yes, sir. EJ Manuel was the truth in that game because he was a cheat code.
Yes. The last one I'm gonna get into before we end the show is crazy. Fox Sports is something to do with Fox, right? They had Shedeur as the #1 favorite to win the Heisman next season.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna talk to you probably after Christmas. It was fun.
Reaction to overreaction. Shedeur will be sitting in the Heisman ceremony in New York.
Overreaction spelled out in all caps
with 10,000 exclamation points, and I know you're lying after in parentheses.
Or he will be the only Heisman winner to win the Heisman because of his dad.
Facts.
No, and all you got to do is just put in parentheses. We're just looking for clicks.
Yes, clickbait. ... Shedeur Sanders Heisman ... Don't roast me in the comments or know my address and send me hate mail.
I think Shedeur is going to get exposed as Colorado's starting QB. I mean, I watched that little Snapchat show they had when he was in high school, and
Snapchat show.
I wasn't really a fan. Yeah, I wasn't really a fan of him. They had a Snapchat show of Shedeur.
It was overtime, right?
Oh God.
Yes. And Deion Sanders was Shedeur's head coach in high school, and I really wasn't I really wasn't a fan because it just seemed like he had pretty good receivers. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's hard to throw a football because I can't throw a football good, but I don't know. I think he's gonna get exposed.
Like we all know, all four of us in the comments, Caleb Williams is in the same conference as Shedeur Sanders, and we're gonna say Shedeur has a better chance to win the Heisman than Caleb Williams.
Bro. Hold on,
we got the truth.
My boy Waves on swim with a night. USC and Utah will lose.
Bro, Waves is always trolling. No, Waves is always trolling. Just ignore Waves. Just ignore Waves.
If that's a troll, good, you got me. Pass out the bag. If it was not, I was gonna say confused. We got a lot of big names for that comment.
Hey, this has been the funnest episode of FBS Fridays. Thank all of y'all for watching. I really appreciate it. Y'all already know y'all can go follow my guys. There, all the social medias will be in the description. But if y'all want to say it now, y'all can. Anything y'all got to say before we got in?
I did want to touch on, like we were talking about earlier, Blue, Trey. If you're going to be on episode next week, I like having Trey on, man. Trey gets Kobe riled up a little bit, and sometimes Kobe doesn't get to answer a lot of the topics because we go in and he's like, "Man, you already answered it." But the next episode that we do, I do want to hopefully, if me and Kobe and the rest of everybody else can get into it, see if first 10 people after the episode gets put onto YouTube, like, share, screenshot it to your Instagram story, Twitter, tag all of us, and we will do a roundabout wheel drawing to see who the guest speaker will be. If I'm sitting out, or if Trey's going to be busy with the holidays, or if Blue's going to be busy, because Blue's a busy man. He's all over the world. See who it is. We want to bring some guests on. Just trying to answer a lot of y'all's comments on the pod tonight. So,
I love you, Waves. I love you, man. Appreciate you always coming on the man. He has me cracking up in the chat every show I do. Waves is outrageous,
bro.
He's outrageous.
Hey, all right, man. Hey, Trey, you want to tell them where they can follow you at, bro? Trey, you hear me?
He said, "Nah, I'm good." He said, "I'm not trying to dox myself."
I'm on Twitter at CMcCarter6, I believe. Instagram, I believe, is my first and last name. I think it's Clay McCarter or Clayton McCarter or CMcCarter6 on all my platforms. Everything. Follow me, man. I'm not really big on the social media like I used to with Twitter and stuff, but I'm trying to get a little bit better at it. I work a crazy schedule, and I take my Fridays to do this with everybody. So I get my week's build of takes and everything up for this. So.
All right. Hey, y'all already know who Blue is. Just in case you don't, man, you can follow him on everything. It's the Blue Bloods, right? Right, Blue?
Yeah. Blue Bloods, bluebloods.pod.com, all that good stuff, man.
Yes, sir.
Blue, are we gonna get a little FBS Fridays Blitz City podcast co-hosting on the Blue Bloods podcast?
Oh yeah, for sure. Listen, me and C gonna work something out because that next year I've already was planning on it. I'm gonna go more 50-50 with my coverage. Like I still got to keep with the FCS, but I'm a voter and all that, so I got to stay on that. But the website will be a lot of FCS stuff, but on the show, definitely gonna be doing more FBS stuff. So me and C definitely we'll have to try to work something out with that. We'll have to give you guys a lot more FBS content throughout the off season.
Thanks. And Navy Gal Now Trucking, thank you so much for the sub, man. I really do appreciate you. I'm glad this popped up on your page and you saw it and you was able to sub. I love you for that. Oh, but hey, man, we're gonna be out. See y'all next Friday. Peace.
That was